So curious, isn't it, that we've talked quite a lot about games and playing hide and seek and blind man's buff. The one game that is really ruining the kidnap trail, golf. Here we are in Limekilns. Cars, boats, birds. What is it? What bird are we listening to?
Frog pipit.
Frog
As
pipit.
they call it in these parts.
Frog pipit. Well, I started off a little bit disappointed about this day's route, thinking it was all pavement and biking trails and actually walking in the middle of the road, and was quite dangerous. But I finished the day feeling a little bit more upbeat about that. For pretty much the first time across the whole of the trail, and we're walking on what is quite a busy road.
Scrambling through sand pits, marching alongside greenhouses, going over a railway line.
Electric fence.
Electric fence, yeah, I took one on the chin for that, for the team.
So this is a bike track, a disused railway line that runs from Bogside to Dunfermline. So in fact most of the way that we'd have to go on this part of the kidnap trail. The romantic in me says, really, we should walk on the ridge of the Ochil mountains and then come down. But given the weather and my age, I suspect that most practical people would choose to walk along this route.
Yeah, or cycle.
Yeah, or take the train, or a bus, I think, you know. Somewhere about lunchtime we were trying to we were going to start a campaign to actually sort of create a proper trail from Stirling to Limekilns that would be quite enjoyable to walk rather than going through the kind of urban nightmare that we felt was there.
Yeah.
But actually, talking to those two experienced walkers in the pub, I suddenly realised that, and then walking their route back to here, you realised actually dodging the urban sprawl is the best bit.
Yeah.
Interstitial spaces.
Nay, we're through. Aye, we're through.
It's the dodging of the main roads and the funny little alleyways you go through and across fields and suddenly finding footbridges.
The thing that kicked that feeling off for us was the privacy routes that we encountered, where people fenced off their own land, despite the fact that it was a footpath, and very delicately referred to it as a privacy redirect.
A privacy redirection, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, put out sort of fox traps and stuff you'd tread on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, fox and noose.
Yeah. So yes, there's a certain amount of discouragement by the rich of allowing you to walk what is mapped out as a public highway.
Yeah.
So how did we get here, Andy?
Got lost.
That's not true.
No, we found a bit of local knowledge
Tell me more.
in the Crossfoot Arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, which corroborated what we saw on the map and allowed us to have the confidence to find the back route.
I think you need to pay more tribute to the two guys in the bar in their 60s.
Maybe you're being too modest, because you already had picked out the route, but I don't think we'd have found it without being confident.
A little local knowledge.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's lovely, isn't it? Because it is, again, it's scurrying down little alleyways and round the towns.
Yeah. Little passageways that have only just been left open, just big enough to squeeze a man through, which in 25 years might be disappeared.
Yeah. And it is only those guys sitting on pub stools who still will tell you about that.
The things they've done down those alleys.
No. And also I think we started walking some quite ancient paths. as a result of that, because they are just the places where the ramblers, the old geezers going from one pub to the next, and the tinkers, were all the places that they did sort of go through the fields and lived at the margins. Wordsworth's types. So we were slightly more in touch with our Alan and David at that point than perhaps we thought we would be. So, cheers to that.
The waters.